Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Spoken Token Podcast. This is your host, future Larry Neal, and I just wanted to share a brief special opening to this episode. While it has been an interesting and busy end to our summer, rest assured we will be back in the studio very soon, bringing you life with board games one box at a time, as only Alex and I can. Until then, this month, we wanted to celebrate the opening weekend of our home convention, Tennessee Game Days, by rebroadcasting our first year from the show floor. Many games were discussed, insights were shared, and we had an all-around wonderful time. So, sit back, relax, tighten up the laces on those tennis shoes, and turn us up as we join, well, us, Alex Wallace and Larry Neal. Welcome to the Spoken Token episode 21. This month, we have a more in-depth look at the personalities and projects we caught up with at Tennessee Game Days. We talk about Kickstarters past and possible with several game designers, and we catch up with Meeple Mountain about some of their upcoming plans. So, sit back, relax, and let's catch up with your hosts, Alex Wallace and Larry Neal.
All right, we are live on the convention floor. Larry, we are here with the guys from Infinite Dreams. Super exciting. Gentlemen, why don't you go ahead and reintroduce yourselves to our audience?
Hello, I'm Michael Aldridge.
And I'm Sean Smith.
And we designed Warehouse 13, the board game.
Wonderful.
And quite a wonderful job you guys did at that, too, this time
thank
may
you.
add.
Yeah, and so why don't you tell us what has happened briefly in our short time since we last talked a year ago.
And let me say this in case for anybody who missed it, congratulations on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's what we were going to say.
That's what I was going to let them tell them.
Extremely excited.
You just took the words out of the...
You worked the
It's
computer.
okay, we can re-say it.
You worked the computer. No, but I did want to say it to you guys because I did. I didn't get a chance to say it, of course. I backed it. I'm on there.
Awesome.
We've kind of been a little
Technically, we backed it together.
No, it's just me. He didn't put in at all. He didn't put in anything.
Because you didn't ask yet. But we said we'd do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Alex, we're still taking pre-orders, which is the other thing we're going to say.
Now
if you wanted to get it on your own, I mean.
But no, we're going to get out the way. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Because of the fact that we are still waiting on a few of the assets from NBC, we are still able to keep taking pre-orders at this point.
That's good to know.
As soon as we submit the order to the factory, obviously, then we're gonna have to cut that off.
Yeah. Can you share with us what your output you think you're gonna, like, how many physical copies do you think you're gonna be able to make?
It looks like at this point 3,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we sold 1,800 in the Kickstarter, and we've sold a few more since then on pre-orders. But then we're going to have some extra left over, in case we're wanting to sell after the fact.
Yeah. Do you have any retailer interest or any? I mean, that you've seen or?
Well, we actually decided that because the response was actually a lot smaller than we had anticipated. I mean, we were actually expecting possibly a significantly higher print run than 3,000. It's just not worth it with our margins and everything to go through retailers at this point,
or to go through a distributor anyway. If we had a retailer actually come up to us and ask, we may actually be able to cut a deal with them.
Got it.
But currently there's no profit in it for us to do it, because after we get everything shipped over here and selling at a reasonable price point, shipping to the distributor who is only going to give 40% of the MSRP, we would make, and after licensing, we would make nothing on it.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, well, cool.
But we do plan on selling it. We do plan on selling it ourselves. So.
Oh, fun, excellent.
So they will be available.
And and you guys being so inserted into the Warehouse 13 culture, and you're usually where they are, and so you have a direct link to the fan base. I think is a really wise decision as well.
Well, we really appreciate all the work that Eddie McClintock has helped us with, with doing our Kickstarter video, and we're gonna if we can get the games in our hands by Labor Day, we can. He'll be at Dragon Con, and we will be. He agreed to sell our games at his booth, where he'll be able to sign copies.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's
so
he
cool.
has been absolutely instrumental in helping us with everything. He agreed before the Kickstarter. He agreed to, actually it was during the Kickstarter, he agreed to sign copies of his player board to be included with like 40 or so copies, or I believe
wow.
it was.
Very cool.
And we sold that at a higher price point. We're going to give him quite a bit of that money.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is fantastic. That's fantastic. So what else is going on now these days? We're talking about, we've actually got fulfillment. We maybe got some future plans. What else is going on with you guys with the game?
Well, as I said, we're still trying to get the last few things out of NBC as far as actually having everything we need to send this to the printer.
We're just about there too. It is so close.
I am happy to say that after months of negotiations, and this is one of the biggest complaints we got out of just fans in general. Mm-hmm. When we put the game out, is there's no H.G. Wells. Why is there no H.G. Wells? And we had to keep explaining to people that unfortunately, as she wasn't one of the primary cast members, they did not retain the merchandising rights for Jamie Murray.
Plus, she's season 2, and McPherson, the main adversary of season 1, is what we're using for the base games.
Right.
So, and they're like, well, why couldn't you do it as a stretch goal? And as I think we discussed last time we talked, it just that negotiation process takes a long time.
Right.
So even if we had done a stretch goal and had met it, it would have been months to even get the deal done.
Right.
And then anything with her actually has to be created and approved and everything else, which takes a lot of time.
Right.
I can happily say, though, that I have reached an agreement with Jamie Murray's people.
That's fantastic.
So she will be included in the expansion. That contract is signed and has already been delivered to NBC. So we are ready to move forward on the expansion just as soon as we've got the base game squared away.
That's awesome.
And as soon as we get that expansion created, then we can put that on Kickstarter, and people who have not gotten on board with the base game can actually get that.
Oh, excellent.
They can jump on board with that.
Well, that's fantastic, man, guys. Congratulations.
Everybody who's a fan of Warehouse 13 is cheering.
Now, Sean, I know the last time we talked, you had mentioned specifically that you had another game in mind from another show. Is that still ruminating, or do you have anything to share? Or
unfortunately, that fell through. The studio in question has an existing deal with USAopoly and seems to not understand the difference between the actual hobby industry and things like co-branded Monopoly and Clue and that kind of thing.
So they have an existing Clue version of this show, and and so they say, yes, we have a partner in this industry, and we're like, no, you don't. We've got a great idea, and they're not willing to move.
You have a partner in the family board game industry. You do not have a partner in the hobby board game industry.
There are differovictions.
There are absolute differences. I mean, not that we're elitist or anything, because
Sure. Right. But I get it.
But having a Clue branded version of a game or a Monopoly version or a trivia version is not the same as a standalone
experience, built around your property.
Yeah. Right,
That's using the existing rules of Clue or Monopoly or whatever, and just putting your license over top of it, as opposed to
you're
building
painting
a
theme
game from the ground up.
Exactly. Just pasting a theme on top doesn't really make a new game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, as always, we really enjoy having you. Best of luck. Super excited about your Warehouse 13 board game and the inevitable expansion. Super, super excited.
I'm going to put us on the hook now. We're going to say it on the air this time, and maybe it'll happen. We are going to get together with you guys again, just to give you more time in the quiet studio, and let's talk.
Sounds good.
There's so much knowledge. I would love for you guys to get out there.
Yeah. We're definitely on board with that. Thanks.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. All right.
Jeeps. That's
Jeeps.
awesome.
Yes, we like Jeeps. Okay, and we're what are you shaking your head about? What? How did I mess this up already?
Only you, sir. Only you.
Outtakes.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Guess who's sitting on the other side from the table from us, Alex?
Well, let's let them. Let's see if we're gonna play a little game with our listeners at home. So if you two shall just say in your most manly voice ever, hello, maybe they'll guess who it is.
Our role-playing skills are significantly worse than you think.
No, see, there it is. There it is.
Yes, as your resident GM,
Yes,
I do realize
yes.
that your role playing sucks.
Terrible. It's terrible.
It's awesome watching you run into dungeons.
Yes. Oh,
Leroy
hey, that was
Jenkins.
yeah, 2 dungeons, 1 time. So that sounds like a horrible YouTube video.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
All right, we are sitting here with our friends from Breaking Teeth Games. Gentlemen, why don't you just introduce yourselves for our new listeners, which there are at least 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, my name's Dustin Crouch.
And I'm Caine Meyers.
Excellent. And you guys are, soon to be published game designers.
We are published. We're signed, and we're waiting on the kind of final product to come out this year.
Excellent. So can you kind of let us know where you are with that process, and...
We're in the late stages of production with the publisher to get the kind of final layout and all the final balancing done. So, and then it'll go for print this summer, hopefully.
Wow! So it's a summer print already.
Yeah, well, we're ready to print. We've got about another month of playtesting.
So, what game are we talking about again?
Well, it was called Sigil, and we've played it with you guys, but now it's going to be known as Fate of Factions.
Oh, okay. We like that game.
Yes,
We like that game a lot. So let me ask you guys this. In the process, I know you guys were trying to get published on your own. You were doing your own thing, and now you've signed the deal. What have those changes been like for you guys in the process in terms of how the game has changed? You just told me the name's changed. Obviously, you've signed. Just briefly, what has that been like for you two guys to live with that?
The creative process hasn't changed really at all. We're still in charge of the creative process. It's just the pace at which these large publishers work. They're a lot slower than what I was maybe used to. So because we were pushing it, trying to get ready for Kickstarter, had all these dates and schedules, and we're just another. I'm not speaking natively. We're just another cog in the machine. This publishing company spitting out games. So that's been the only challenge we felt so far.
Yeah, I've never heard someone whine so much about another company not being able to move as fast as they wanted them to.
Well, I'm like, they're going to make millions of dollars off this game,
Why wouldn't they hurry up?
What's been the biggest surprise for you now working with an actual publisher? For the good. Let's talk about the good here.
How much they don't just take it away from you and just run with it. They don't just take your idea and completely change it. They give us some creative freedom and responsibility to finish it, the way that we envisioned it.
Awesome.
Right. And the support of just them playing it and loving it and just letting us know how much they want to back it and get it out there. So that is very encouraging.
Well, great. And then how did the name change come into play?
I mean, I guess they have a science behind that. That name wasn't particularly easy to say, and people don't have a large vocabulary as I do. Okay, so
I've seen that. I've seen that happen.
So some people would struggle saying the name, and if you just read it and didn't know what it meant, you would say
Sigil. What is Sigil?
You wouldn't know what it was. So they took it more of a, you've got League of Legends, you've got Clash of Clans, you've got all those games that have that kind of rhythm to them, and so they're just kind of, it's just a marketing function.
Wow. Well, having said that, with those games, with those, of course, all being electronic properties, are you guys giving us a spoiler alert? Is there maybe some electronic versions of this coming in the future?
That would be incredible. I mean, I don't know.
So the answer to that is no.
We don't design video games. It would be a good property for video game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, has any other part of the game's iconography or have you changed the name of the sigil, or is it still the sigil?
No, we're calling that the Faction Stone now.
The Faction Stone.
I mean, the lore kind of wrapped up. It was wrapped up in the sigil, so I had to wrap the new name around that lore.
Okay. Any other big changes like that you had to make? Because I mean, that's the first I've heard of.
No, we've just made it simpler.
Okay.
Like we had at the end, we kind of brought in all these new concepts to make more and more gamers want to play it, and then I was like, you can't throw in the kitchen sink. Let's take it back to when it was
absolutely
fun,
yeah,
and easy to play. And so that's where we're at.
And through all the gameplay, we saw a couple abilities and things that tended to be the same problem, and so either removing them or changing them completely has sped up the game and made it more fun.
Yeah, just because it's a cool ability doesn't mean it's easy to write the rules to it or anything like that. So those things that you have to kind of write the rules around, like a stealth ability, is really cool on a movie, but it's hard to use on a board game.
Right.
Yeah.
People need to get it in order to be able to
That's
play
right.
it and understand it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the blind playtest part comes in. I mean, if you can't hand it to them and they read it, learn it, know it, and play it correctly, they're not going to do that when they pay for it.
That's right.
And so, got it.
What kind of response have you gotten from people, from just blind playtesters? I mean, has that been cool, or constructive, or?
Yeah, well, you've had quite a few YouTube reviews, and everyone.
Yeah, I mean, everybody really likes it. What's really funny, and we do it too, is like, let's say Blood Rage comes out, and we're like, well, this is broken. This doesn't work. Like, they didn't play test it 1,000 times.
Right.
So that's really funny to me when someone sits down, they've played it one time, and they found this glaring problem in it. And that's usually not the case.
Yeah.
Board gamers never do that. They never do that. They got a room full of like 1,000 of them right over
that's right,
right
that's
over
right.
here.
It's usually when they're losing that.
That's right. Yeah, I hate that. This is the worst thing ever.
That was on our list. That was on your list. Yes, that's right. We could fix it by if this strategy that I'm trying to use would work. That would fix this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can design this better. Well, what's next?
We're actually working on 2 other projects right now, or I'm working on it. Caine's kind of, I feed him lots of ideas, and he says, that's terrible, or that's good.
Yeah.
So
like
we're
me and
working
Alex.
on a couple
Okay,
others,
got it. Okay.
and we just need the Fate of Factions to get to the printer, and then
Right.
we'll be happy as a lark.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking around June. All right, so we'll have to touch bases. Guys, keep us apprised. Absolutely. Anything you want to tell anybody how to get in touch with you, where they can reach you, anything for updates?
Or where to buy your game when it comes out? If
We will update everyone via the Facebook page, and then our publisher is going to make a big marketing push. So that'll be great.
That will be great. Guys, thanks for coming in on your weekend, because you're here to play this time. Sit with us for a few minutes and get us caught up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Hey, transaction in the making right here at Tennessee Game Days, live on the air. Oh, the flea market in action.
I am impressed,
Yes.
everybody. Hey, this is Alex and Larry. We're here with Andy and my good friend Elijah from Meeple Mountain. I'm so glad we got both of you guys. I know we've had Elijah on, and we had a great time with that one. And I really wanted to get you both together, but at least we got to do it here, so we'll have to do it more formally soon as we can.
That's right.
But guys, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Having a good time at TN Game Days.
I'm good. I just got here, so I'm getting rolling.
Yes, that's right.
Elijah's like, I think my car's parked. I checked in. I got my games. Okay, I'm good. And we were like, come on, dude, let's do the radio show.
That's right.
We're
We were
like,
at-
Hey, you
now.
caught me right before I jumped in. Eh?
Yeah, we were actually.
like a split second.
He's like, all right, listen, let's get this over with. I'm here to game, not talk about gaming.
This is what happens when you don't have an intern.
This is right.
You got to do it yourself. Sorry. So what's going on in the Meeple Mountain world, guys?
Let's see. We are hard at work on National Tabletop Day. That's coming up on April 28th from 9. Hard at work from National Tabletop Day. That's coming up on April 28th from probably about 9 or 10 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. We have a location, and when will this air?
Well, when would you like it to air?
I can go ahead and give you a sneak preview. We are going to be at the Watkins Community Center. This is off 17th and Charlotte.
Okay.
It's about 5 blocks from downtown. We're gonna
This
be in
will
the
air.
gymnasium.
This will air before April. So,
Okay, that's
so
fine.
you're good.
The only reason I'm asking is we haven't sent out an official announcement yet
Okay.
to our mailing list, so
Sure.
it's okay. I suspect there will be some overlap, but mostly want to let me.
Probably
sure
not.
Probably loads of overlap.
I wasn't going to say that.
So the goal is to have a free event. I mean, that's what Nashville Tabletop Day's in for the last 3 years. It's an all-day board gaming event. It's free. We have sponsors from local businesses and game publishers all over the country, hopefully all over the world. Knocking on wood.
Hey, we heard it too.
So we're actually we've already got, I think, about half a dozen. No. Probably about a dozen sponsors have already signed on. And if it's anything like the last few years, we end up getting another probably like 10 or 20 closer to the event. They're like, oh my God, we forgot to do this thing. I can't believe it. So,
Yeah, and to brag a little bit, last year we were actually the biggest one in
North America.
In the United States.
Wow.
Right? Was it Mexico?
There was one in Mexico
kind of
supposedly that was bigger,
it's
but
debatable.
Mexico City is like 30 million people. So
Right.
I think
That's not even that many people in this state.
There's not that many people.
But so seriously, like the largest.
Well,
Largest
that we can
tabletop
tell.
day.
Yeah.
Largest tabletop day. They don't keep track,
Yes.
record or anything like that.
I think that you guys should start like keeping records and say, hey, can anyone beat this
And
legitimately?
we will
Top
tell
this.
everyone that listens to the show.
That's
That's right.
Awesome.
Well, hey, but congratulations to actually have something like that to kind of,
No, that's fantastic.
you know,
really
wave
cool.
around and go na 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 na.
Well, it's such a cool event. I mean, there are a few times where
why
everybody
they do
in
it.
Yes, it is. It's exactly why you do that.
That is totally.
there's a few times where everybody in the country gets together at the same time to play
Yeah.
games, and it's so cool. You know, you look at all the live streams of the different all the different places around the country playing, and it's just such a neat environment.
Excellent. So, is there anything this year that you're going to implement or do differently that you haven't done in the past years?
Yeah. So the two primary changes are we're going to have a much more robust play-to-win library. That was a
Cool.
huge hit last year. So in 2016, we didn't do play-to-wins at all. We just had giveaways. 2017, a lot of our publishers are like, the giveaways are great, but we want people to actually play the games.
Yeah, it's an awesome idea.
Yeah, the play-to-wins here at TN Game Days are great. Last year, I think we had about maybe like 70 games that were play-to-win, and it was a huge hit. And it was a single day, so it's unlike this weekend where it's like it's going to happen in the day, one day.
Right.
And I think New York Slice, for example, from Bezier Games, had like 100 plays.
Yeah.
I mean,
We had like
it's
3
crazy.
copies. It was all out.
And
Sagrada
it was great. Sagrada was there.
Sagrada's
Sagrada
good.
was huge. It's still sold out even from last year, which is crazy.
Yeah, I got my copy. So I found a copy on it was Barnes and Noble, and they had it it was on a winter sale.
Oh, man.
So and they had it for like 30% off.
Yeah.
And so I'll take I'll take this, please.
Yeah, don't tell anybody else. Hey, Ben Harkins, you heard it here. By the way, Ben's the owner of Floodgate Games, who did Sagrada.
And just
It's an
before-
amazing game. by
And
the
before
way.
we get too far away, I wanted to clarify because
He doesn't listen either.
We mentioned that a little while ago. The play to win, that process. That is, you play the game with people during, I guess, a kind of a bit of a structured event, and then your name gets entered into a drawing to win that game.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, gotcha.
So as
Because
opposed
we've
to-
said it a couple of times today, but we haven't defined it. People saying play to win. I got to beat everybody to win it. No, just play it.
Yep.
And you'll sign up to win that particular one, and then your name may get drawn out, and you
Yeah.
may win that way.
So publishers like play to wins better because
Absolutely.
you're not just getting a game that like I have no clue what this game is. I don't care about it. You actually are looking to play a game, and so as opposed to like say 400 people that are going to be at an event that have a chance to win any game.
Right.
Play to wins might only be 30 or 40 people, so you have a much better chance to win. And more importantly, a lot of the people who do the play to wins and don't win the game may end up going to buy.
Yeah,
the
well, I
game.
mean, you're getting people interacting with your game beyond just receiving it, and so there is a taste for it. There is, and then you actually have people. I mean, the reach is just so much greater and more impactful.
Right, right. Well, that is fantastic. Well, I can say this too to you guys also. I know the board game, scene, if you want to call it that, in Nashville is maturing, but I am really, really happy that you guys are doing. I'm a native of Nashville, even though I'm in Rutherford County. Nashville is home, is where I was born, and I just love to see what you guys are doing for the community, for board games in Nashville. It's such a big city. It's so diverse. It's always been very, very proud of its music heritage, which it should be, and that's kind of been king in this part of the country. Again, speaking from being born and raised here, but I love the fact that you guys are coming in there with something that's social, something that's recreation for people, and treating it with so much respect.
Absolutely.
And getting so many people around it. Trust me, it's needed. It's tough. It's tough to get a foothold of those type of things in the city if it's not music. It's tough.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing it. More power to you.
Yeah,
That's
Meeple Mountain
fantastic.
is born and raised here in Nashville, so that's it's important thing for us. Is the part of our mission statement is basically just to promote board gaming in Nashville. It's really, there's more to it, but it's as simple as that. So anything that we can do to promote board gaming in Nashville for our attendees, for the people that listen to us, follow us on social media and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anything that we can do to help board gaming helps everyone in Nashville.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. I love it. I love it. That's
All
great.
right, well, guys, anything you want to share with anyone else? Wait a minute. Anything you want to share with anyone else? I mean, apparently, if you want to talk to your wife or your
know.
cat
I don't
or
know.
your neighbor, now's the time you can do it. That's what I meant, I think.
Well, let's do this too while you guys are here. Tell us how we can get in touch with you. Let's hear it from you guys directly.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're
best
interested
ways.
in checking out Meeple Mountain, just follow us on meeplemountain.com. We have Meeple Mountain on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the Board Game Cafe is coming soon. Hopefully, we're still looking for a venue. Hope to have an announcement by coming tabletop day, but we'll see.
Okay.
You can always use my garage.
I could.
No.
I think what he means is we can always
can't.
store our games in his garage.
No, don't do that either.
No. I want your Board Game Cafe in my garage, please. Well, guys, we wish you the best of luck, and it's a pleasure talking with you. And so thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks, guys.
Right on.
Thanks, guys. All right, we are here at Tennessee Game Days. We're just catching up with very interesting people in the board gaming world. Right now, I've got Chase Williams with us.
He's not that interesting.
I'm looking for the interesting people.
You're actually looking
Jason,
at
your last
them.
name?
It's us. It's
Jason,
us.
my last name is Mowry.
Jason Mowry. These two guys have put together a game that I personally got a chance to play, the pleasure of playing not too long ago, The Big Score with Van Ryder Games. Congratulations on the Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent.
Thank you very much.
And guys, we appreciate you coming and sitting down and
Absolutely.
taking a few minutes with us. So just tell us what's going on in your world. What's next for The Big Score? What's going on in your world?
Wow. Well, as you know, we just funded, so that was awesome. Thanks to all the support and
Absolutely,
backers out
thank
there
you.
for that. So, right now, what we have in front of us is AJ and Evan have the very difficult task of working with the manufacturers to get the game out there.
Yeah. Aren't you glad that they get to do that?
I'm happy to be the
not-
designer,
Yeah.
not the publisher.
Absolutely. So we've got that going on. So now for us, really, it's getting prepped for the convention, right? The goal is to have this in people's hands and on shelves in August for Gen Con. So we're both planning on being there to do that. We've got some awesome events planned for Gen Con, some tournaments. So if you're going to be at Gen Con and you want to come play The Big Score, come by, sign up for one of the events.
I don't actually suggest cosplaying this because you might actually get the real, police involved, and that may not be the best
cosplay.
idea.
No guns, no hacking or anything like that can take place. But that's pretty much it for The Big Score right now. It's just getting it out there and anxiously awaiting getting to touch that first real copy.
Yes.
Excellent.
In the shrink. Now, you're going to break
Absolutely.
your first shrink copy, or you're going to keep that one for posterity?
I might have to keep one.
I'm going to
shrink
keep
wrapped.
one in
Yeah, that might
shrink
be
for
kinda
sure.
cool.
We might have in the contract that we get a couple of copies, and so one of those is definitely going to be in shrink on my shelf.
Yep.
And then I will definitely crack the other
And then,
one.
and then one of your kids, 10 years, like, what is this? And just cracks it open.
Tosses it out.
Yeah,
No-
it's just
no big deal.
Goes in a yard sale.
It'll be $3 on Amazon at that time.
Dad's
anyway.
Absolutely.
So what's next for you guys as designers? You guys working on something new?
Yeah, we actually are sort of knee deep into a second game. The Big Score is a kind of a middleweight game that you can play with new gamers and seasoned gamers as well. But we decided to leave that for the moment and go straight to an epic sort of sandbox, like big, heavy pirate open world game. And we've done quite a lot of work on it.
That's exciting.
We've play tested multiple times and are still developing it and tweaking it, and so hopefully that'll see the light of day one of these times.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's very different. Very different.
Now, how do you
different and deeper.
And how do you differentiate yourself from something like Seafall? I mean, which is kind of you put that out there when you say pirate open world.
Right.
Instantly that comes to mind. Or you have something like Jamaica or Rum and Bones. Well, I guess Rum and Bones is more of an like a lane control thing. But
I mean, with and if you listen to Board Game Design Lab or Go Forth and Game, we really get into the details around how we design together. Jason came to me with the concept for this, and it was something very unique that I had not really seen before. And so what we did was the same exact thing with Big Score. Threw it all out there, said, now what?
Yeah.
And then we sort of converged his idea with things that, because I have yet to find the pirate game for me.
Yeah.
And I love that theme.
Absolutely.
And so
Pirate and Western are completely under.
I agree,
They're completely
Absolutely.
underused. I used the word "well" there.
That's correct.
Because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But
So he brought the idea, and then I said, okay, well, if you're willing, I would love to throw in some elements here that I have never really seen that I want out of a pirate game. And so we took his idea for this unique system, and then what do we want the game to be, and then how do we make it fun, and we sort of
Please tell me
massaged
your
and worked
game
from there.
is all about picking the correct pirate animal. So, i.e., your bird or your monkey or.
That's actually pretty
There
awesome.
are parrots and there are monkeys.
Well, we don't. There's no picking, but I like sort of you're talking about like kind of picking your mascot.
That's
or your,
right,
your little helper.
absolutely.
That would be
There's
cool. Yeah.
definitely
But
there's
they
definitely
are
an
in there.
element.
They are.
Or is your game all about how do you get your wooden appendage?
Nope.
So-
None of that.
Your peg.
Yeah.
No.
I have a pirate joke for you. It's what's a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet?
Oh.
R?
No.
No, it's always been the C.
See, Larry feels dumb now.
If you're listening to the podcast, you couldn't get my my animated little arm.
It's okay. I have to
It was quite
actually.
fantastic. It was quite
I
fantastic.
actually have to narrate most of Larry's movements
Okay.
because he forgets that
You
we're
don't-
on
you
radio.
don't- You don't really have to.
I
You just
do.
want to.
I do. I
You
do.
just want to. You don't
Bad
have to.
joke portion of this podcast is over. Let's
No,
move on.
actually, that's most of our normal podcast. It's me giving puns.
Yes. Well, guys, dadgummit. We thank you guys for coming out. I do want to ask this: how can people get in touch with you guys if they want to, in terms of the board games, the
Yeah.
creative?
I got DVDs on BGG. This is Chase, and I'm also Avett AVETT_fan on Twitter.
Oh, an Avid Brothers fan. How nice.
A little bit.
Look at that.
On BGG, I am JM Mowry, JMMOWERY, and on Twitter, Jason_Mowry.
And the best way to find those is to go to the Big Score page and click the names of the designers.
There you go. I'll do it.
Thanks for
We'll do
playing
it.
the big score.
fantastic.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
and for all the listeners, if you have not seen Larry win a game ever, which has probably happened,
because he's
I
always
hear it's happened.
exploring
Check
the
the
game.
5-player playthrough on the Big Scores BGG page,
right.
where
So
he
there's-
annihilates everyone by tiebreaker.
Which we just found out may
It's got a little bit of an adjustment,
But it wasn't changed when I won, so I retained my victory.
That's
No.
right.
If you guys are out there looking for a bank heist game that if you want to if you like
We
that
actually have a
theme,
high level of convicts that actually listen to our
perfect.
podcast.
Oh
Well, you're
my
in luck
gosh,
because
no.
we have a game that is the bank heist theme in 2 acts, and yeah, check it out.
That's great.
It's really cool. I backed it, and so we'll probably look at doing something with the podcast. We may do a giveaway.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic.
Because there may be a couple of copies involved coming to me, so we may do that. That'd
be perfect.
It's really fun. The game is fun.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's a
very
good game.
much.
Yeah,
I greatly
I was-
appreciate that.
I was very impressed. So yeah,
Cool.
Good stuff.
Well, gentlemen,
Guys,
thank you so much.
Good luck with the show, guys. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. This has been the Spoken Token Podcast. If you would like to interact with us, please find us at Facebook at The Spoken Token, on Instagram at The Spoken Token Podcast. Our Twitter account is at The Spoken Token. Email is thespokentokenpodcast@gmail.com. And our BGG guild number is 2656.
You are listening to a Pod Studio One Podcast Network podcast. Find more great podcasts at www.podstudio1.com.